And thank you for tuning into this video. So far what we did today in class was you were given an equation of a line, and from the equation you found the x and y intercepts, and then from the x and y intercepts you were able to graph the line. So eventually I want to get to where you are given the line, the graph, and then you come up with the equation. But before we do that, we have to talk about slope-intercept form. So tonight we're going to talk specifically about different ways that linear equations can be written. So equations for lines can be written in different ways. So for example, negative 2x plus 5y is equal to 10. If I wanted to, I could add 2x to both sides of my equations. If I did that, I would just get 5y is equal to 10 plus 2x. These two equations, they're the same equation, but they're written in two different ways. So one of the most useful ways of writing a linear equation is to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Let's go ahead and underline that. So the linear equation is in slope-intercept form. Basically, that means that the variable y is solved for. In other words, y is by itself in the equation. On the other side of the equation, we generally have the x variable first, and then the constant. Now we're going to talk more in depth about the slope-intercept form next week, but I just wanted you to be able to get a taste for what slope-intercept form looks like. Here are some examples of equations written in slope-intercept form. One is y is equal to negative 3x plus 4. And here's another example. So notice the y is by itself for both of these. You have the term with your x first, so negative 3x in this case, and 1/2 x in this case. And then you have your constant following that. So it would be 4 in this example, and negative 5 in this example. Okay? Alright, so something that's very useful to do is you're going to be given an equation, and then you should be able to, and then you need to learn how to get it in slope-intercept form. To get an equation in slope-intercept form, you just have to solve the equation for y, and I believe you guys did this in the last chapter. So let's go ahead and work a few examples. So the first example says, so write the equation 2y plus 4x is equal to 6 in slope-intercept form. Now, so to get it in slope-intercept form, I need to solve for y. So make yourself a note, you got to solve for y. And like I said, next week when we look at this, we'll talk more about slope-intercept form and what it can be used for next week. But for now, we just got to learn how to solve for y. So I'm looking at this equation, I got to think, well, how can I get y by itself? An easy way to think about this is, if this were 2y plus 4 is equal to 6, to get y by itself, what you would do is you would subtract on both sides. So that's what we're going to do right here. The first step to get y by itself is I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides. So when I do that, I'm going to get 2y. Now I could put 6 minus 4x, but because I want the x term first, I'm just going to put negative 4x plus 6. Again, I think when you were solving equations, you would normally do 6 minus 4x, but because I want my x term first, I'm going to go ahead and just put my negative 4x right here rather than do 6 minus 4x, but know that they're the same thing. Okay, so now I have 2y is equal to negative 4x plus 6. To get y by itself, I'm going to have to divide all my terms by 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2, and I'm going to divide this whole right side by 2. A mistake that most students make is they'll divide one of them by 2, but they won't divide the other one by 2. So if I'm getting y by itself, I got to divide every single term by 2. 2y divided by 2 is just y. Now I have negative 4 over 2x plus 6 over 2. Okay, this actually reduces. I'm sorry, I didn't give myself quite enough room. Negative 4 divided by 2 is just negative 2, so I should get y is equal to negative 2x. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so I have negative 2x plus 3. So I took this equation, I solved for y, and when I solved for y, I got the equation in slope-intercept form. Let's go ahead and do one more example. So here we have 3y is equal to 2x minus 9. I want to get this equation in slope-intercept form. So again, to get it in slope-intercept form, I need to solve for y. I need to get y by itself. So I have 3y right here. The 3 and the y are held together in multiplication. So to get y by itself, I have to divide every term by 3. So I'm going to divide this side by 3, and I'm going to divide this side by 3. When I do that, so 3y divided by 3 is just y. So I have y is equal to, I basically have 2x divided by 3, and then minus 9 divided by 3. Make another arrow right there. Now, I don't want you to put this in decimal. So if you get a fraction, just leave it as a fraction, but in simplest, but make sure that it's in simplest form. 2/3 can't be reduced, so I'm just left with 2/3 x. 9 divided by 3 is 3, so I'm going to have minus 3. So y is equal to 2/3 x minus 3. So don't forget to carry your negative. And that would be my final answer. Go ahead and try this practice problem on your own. It's pretty simple. The only thing you're going to have to keep in mind is don't drop your negatives. So make sure you carry your negatives whenever you do the division at the end. God bless you and have a good weekend.